Relative to the number of people that have immigrated to the United States, yes.
What is the number?
Immigrants
when you
commit
say
fewer
a few,
crimes
what is the
than
number?
American
What
citizens.
What is the number that you would allow? What is the number that is fine with you? Is there a benchmark? Is it fine? How many children can be raped and it's fine if you're in relation to the immigration community?
If we're going to talk about children being raped, then we need to hold this pedophile president, Donald Trump, accountable, and all those that have been implicated by the Epstein files that the Department of Justice is still not leaking. They've sent AIPAC after Thomas Massey for having the temerity to hold accountable the pedophiles that are in control of our government.
Thank you. We appreciate your time very much.
It's a pretty stunning moment on Fox News. Would love to hear your thoughts, but ultimately we need to keep talking about Epstein until the survivors finally get justice and accountability, and we are still a long ways away from that happening.
That is so offensive, you know that?
You're talking about my head's offensive?
Yeah.
Your head is offensive.
At least mine's positive.
This is freedom of speech. This is as positive as it gets in America.
I think make America great again is freedom of speech, sir.
Depends on who you're talking to, I guess. Hey, you know what? You have the right to freedom of speech. You can believe what you want and vote for who you want to, and I support your rights to do that. And this is my right to do this. So how about you just mind your business and I'll mind mine?
But you're blaspheming our president. That's our president.
And in this country, we can do that. This isn't a monarchy. We can't behead anybody. If I want to talk shit about the president, I'm going to do it. Because that's my right as an American.
But you understand that it's disrespectful. Like, you understand that, right?
No.
You understand that, right?
Do you understand? We out here touching people now?
Like, that's not okay. You can't wear that.
I can do what I want in America. So you don't have a right to tell me anything.
No, but you said you can't do what you want, but, like, you should have some human decency about it, sir.
Human decency?
Yeah.
Human
decency, because that's messed
This
up.
person that you represent has zero human decency. You don't even know me, lady.
Then leave.
You don't even know me, lady.
Go back somewhere else. I'm getting off.
You should get off.
Yeah. You're messed up. The audacity that you have. Fucking wearing that.
Get out of here, lady.
Wow. Yeah, typical.
So what's wrong with America?
The vandalism is very real, despite what Tim Walz wants to say. It's an imaginary problem. No, it is not. It's a very real problem.
Reflecting pool is so beautiful. They tried to destroy it. They cut it up with a buck's knife and tried to destroy it.
A lot of people, when this first happened with the pool, didn't believe the president that there was vandalism. That's not the case.
Yeah. It's not the case at all. In fact, I was at the reflecting pool yesterday. There not only is a vandalism that is reflected in today's indictment, but there is a cutting of the liner of the pool at the base of the pool for several yards across the pool. And someone was intent on doing incredible damage to the pool.
The contractors who did the initial work with the reflecting pool, are they to blame for the current condition, or is it
No, we had vandalism. No, vandals.
But it peeled off. Why? Why did that happen? Do you know?
It didn't peel off. There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument. The reflecting pool is not just a pool on the mall. It is part of the Lincoln Memorial. And if anybody says that they're going to go and vandalize that, it's no different than if someone was throwing paint
And you're
on Lincoln
100%
itself.
sure that what happened with the liner was vandalism. You can prove it.
Oh yeah, absolutely can, and as we drain it, and we've got all the photographs we can see. I mean, there's no possible way.
There are photographs of a person or people cutting a 300 or 350 foot gash in the bottom of the reflecting pool.
Dana, I'm not sure why you and others in the media think that you want to keep trying to question whether or not they.
Administration ending this week with another legal setback. In developing news late today, a legal kind of humiliation for Trump's DOJ because they have dropped their much-hyped case against the former Olympian David Hearn, who was charged in connection with this damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, an issue that Donald Trump chose and that has bedeviled him over the last several weeks. The DOJ has a new filing that states it's become aware of information showing that the damage was the result of a botched installation and not vandalism as initially represented by the administration. I want to repeat. a botched installation and not vandalism, which is what the administration had claimed. Think about how bad it got and how baseless the claims were that the DOJ has to now cough up and admit this. Trump administration has spent millions trying to shift the color to Donald Trump's demands. And yet, as you may have heard, it remains an algae-infested, greenish kind of pool. And then Trump tried to blame vandals, not just with rhetoric or words, which the president, like any American, is allowed to say things, but by using the power of his office, the power to investigate, indict, and jail, which apparently looks now more and more like cover and distraction from what was either ineffective or shoddy work performed by the hand-picked contractors of the Trump administration.
Midterms, heaven forbid. These Democrats, y'all, impeachment's not even the big concern. They will turn every committee of Congress into an investigative body.
It's been a year since the big ugly bill passed, a bill that takes food out of the mouths of hungry Texas children. Also, billionaires can get another tax break. That is a moral failure. But when politicians fail us, Texans show up for each other. That's what we're doing today. Our campaign is bringing critical donations to this food pantry here in West Dallas. In the Senate, I'll fight to make sure every family can afford to put food on the table. In the meantime, we'll keep serving our neighbors because that's what Texans do.
Got some breaking news. Donald Trump has decided that he doesn't like the decision from federal judge Kathleen Williams here in the Southern District of Florida that declared his bullshit lawsuit against his own IRS and Treasury Department to have been a collusive one in the perpetration of fraud on the court. He has now announced that he is appealing that decision, that order that basically set aside any alleged settlement agreement and declared that there was never a controversy from the get-go because Trump was controlling both sides of the litigation. It's another interesting point to raise. It looks like there's a new law firm that has now come into the fray, a law firm called DLA Piper with a new lawyer who's decided to join the ranks of the lawyers that are representing convicted felon Donald Trump in this collusion of a lawsuit. I don't know. You might want to be careful there because, as we know, Judge Williams, as a part of that order on July 13th, referred people like Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and the number 3 in the Department of Justice, Stanley Woodward, to their respective bar associations for disciplinary proceedings. We're going to be watching this appeal, obviously, and we'll keep you posted here at Katie Fang News.
I believe the reason that the kitchen table has become so difficult is because of what's going on in our political system, in our democracy. The reason the minimum wage has not been raised since 2007, I believe,
yes, 7,
and is worth in real dollars 30% or more less than it was then, when the vast majority of Americans, including, by the way, the majority of Republicans, not elected Republicans, but Republican people, up to a certain point, believe it should be raised. The reason you can have the people want something to happen and Washington and state capitals in many places not deliver it is because we have this political system where politicians choose their voters through gerrymandering instead of people choosing their leaders. The reason why it is even possible to cut funding for Medicaid when most Americans think we need to do more and not less for health care is because elected leaders do not have to be responsive to the people that they serve.
Where the fuck is Mitch McConnell or Neil Dunn? Find out in the latest installment of my new hit series, Is Mitch McConnell or Neil Dunn still with us? No. Turtle Dunn Watch, day 45. So I've only got a minute to explain all this before I have to jet. Senator Pete Ricketts was asked by a reporter while walking to his office, what do you think about McConnell? Should he get on the phone and, or get on video and prove that he's still with us? Ricketts gave some bullshit answer and then asked security to remove the reporter. And of course the reporter says, I came from downstairs. I've already been through security. What are you guys even talking about? So McConnell is not with us anymore. I've been contacted by sources with knowledge of the situation. He's already gone. They're just prolonging it beyond Monday, August 3rd, the deadline where they would have to call a special election. Neil Dunn, no word whatsoever. He has not communicated anything publicly about where the hell he's been. Has not registered for even a roll call vote in Congress, in person, since June the 11th. So is he alive? I don't know. Who knows? But all of his health care, whatever he needs, will be covered in full because of the taxpayer's dollar. Awesome. I hate it here. All this information is very helpful in trying to answer the question, is Mitch McConnell or Neil Dunn still with us now? Thank you for your attention to this matter.
We were trying to save lives. And yeah, okay, mistakes were made. But that doesn't mean that that somebody was acting nefariously, you know? And the Republicans never give you the graciousness at all that they give to Traitor Trump, right? The guy who told the American people to inject bleach, right? That he's, and people did take him up on that.
Bro, I didn't serve in the military because I'm some goddamn patriot. I'm a veteran. I'm a patriot. I did it because I was poor as fuck. I did it because they'll give me housing and food and education and health care. All I got to do is be willing to fucking die for rich people's war overseas as we invade brown countries and call it fucking liberal.
Oh boy, Trumpers, we've got it now. So the Republicans are standing in the way of Donald Trump because Todd Blanche is Donald Trump's personal attorney. Okay, let's be real clear on this. And now he's wanting to appoint him Attorney General, which he helped settle the lawsuit.
Whew! The drama. Did you see this? Trump is big mad that John Cornyn and Tom Tillis won't just rubber stamp his nomination to AG Todd Blanche. They won't do it because they're insisting that the DOJ provide written guarantees that it will not pursue that $1.8 billion anti-weaponization slush fund bullshit. And they're not just going to take Trump's word for it. Gee, I wonder why. So Trump posted a lengthy rant to Truth Social this morning.
Whoa! Fox News went hard on the schoolyard bullying of Texas Senate candidate James Tallarico last week. Of his name, his skin, his dietary preferences. It was like watching an 80s high school bullier, like a Biff Tanner type, trying to define the Democrat as this soft beta cuck loser. So we don't look too closely at the Republican candidate, Ken Paxton, who is a literal criminal. A serial adulterer, a man who was almost impeached by his own party, and an attorney general who just let a man who raped a 12-year-old boy for 3 years off his 15 to life prison sentence after less than a month in jail. Not for nothing, Ken also made sure that sodomizing child rapist didn't have to register as a sex offender. But, you know, James Tallarico did once eat a sandwich without meat in it, so... Bro, Texas is running a kind, well-spoken, smart Christian pastor against a criminal and a creep whose wife is divorcing him because he is such a dirtbag, and Fox News is out here trying to destroy James's reputation because they know they can't rehabilitate Ken's. It's pathetic. The Republican Party is pathetic. You know what? No, the Republican Party is dead. MAGA has turned them into a criminal enterprise of pedophilic enablers and crooks. I'm excited for James Tallarico. I am excited for Texas that they have an alternative to the degenerate that is Ken Paxton. And I am depressed that we are even here. What the hell are we doing? These people are fucking gross.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. Trucker John Livestream, come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream, it's gonna be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means. But if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Good morning, everyone. I just finished my cheese omelet as the thing was coming on. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's 11:23 a.m. in the Pacific time zone. It's currently 100. Come on. It's currently 108 degrees. The high today is supposed to get to 116. How you doing? How y'all doing? Yes, this is summer. We are now in August in Las Vegas, the Mojave Desert. Yes, it's supposed to be hot, but not really this hot. We're above average normal temperatures by a lot. Anyhow, I'm just trying to still get set up here. I don't know if there's some buffering going on. Looks like on my iPad I saw a little buffering, but that just might be my iPad because my iPad is stupid. My iPad is so stupid, in fact, that for some reason I'm not able to set a goal for our super chat goal. So if you don't see something that says anything about a goal, just know there's always a goal. Now we did really good. I don't know if you guys care or not. You probably don't care. You know, you got your own problems, you got your own issues or whatever. Or not that this is a problem or an issue, but I do try to be, I don't know, somewhat what's the word? Visible or whatever, transparent. Not in everything. I can't tell you guys everything, but you know, we do make revenues here. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on with my iPad. It's just playing whatever it wants to play, I guess, apparently. But anyhow, we have the goals, and a big part of the monthly revenue that I make from having a YouTube channel and being monetized and all that. There's ad revenue. There's memberships. We get revenue from your memberships. Thank you so much for all the members. I do appreciate you. We've got 50 or 60 members. We have memberships that start, I think, as low as $1.99 a month. So thank you so much for that. So we've got memberships. We've got the ad revenue, and then we have the super chats and the super stickers. So when you add it all up, I was averaging about $300 a month. I think we've gone up. I think our average is going up because for June we broke $400. It was like $446 or something, and for July now, I haven't seen the exact final numbers, but we're pretty close to that same number. So thank you so much. I just wanted to take the time to thank everyone for all of your super chats and your super stickers and your memberships. Those are the bulk of the revenue. So thank you so much. And then, of course, ad rev, and we can get more ad rev by getting more subscribers. That's why I'm always asking people to subscribe, because then the more eyeballs we get on these videos, the more we make in ad revenue. That's just the way of the world, folks. I know. I sound like some sort of Elon Musk, South African capitalist Nazi or something. I don't know. I hope that's not what I sound like. But yeah, we're trying to get to 5K Hennessy Day. We're at about what, 4,550 something. subscribers right now, so we are growing little by little, day by day. We get a couple here, a couple there, and that's all fine and dandy. But we need to, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting any younger. If we're ever going to see 5K, if I'm ever going to see 5K, we need to pick up the pace a little bit on those subs. Anyhow, I'm not. For some reason, it's not letting me set a goal today. Sometimes YouTube just does its own thing. I don't know, but just know you can still, even though the goal thing's not up there, you can still do that if you want to. Anyhow, thanks for so much. I'm not able to scroll back up to the top. I did see that Brooklyn SJU, aka Trixie LaRue, was first in the chat, reminding me that Albany is indeed the state capital of New York State. Anyhow, coming at you from the outer rim, otherwise known as Boulder Highway. Like I said, we're 108 degrees, 109 now. It already went up a tick. It went up a tick since we began the show. Thanks for being here, guys. Let's see. Let me just go ahead. We'll put my little put this up, I guess. We're gonna. Oh no, not that guy. Not that one. No, we want to do this one. Leave it crooked. It's fine. It's fine. Just trying to fill that little spot up there. Here we are. Saturday Silliness. Welcome to Saturday Silliness. Yeah, crazy from the heat. Like they said. So I made that meme or that thumbnail correct with the 116 degrees because that's what it's supposed to be today. 116. But we will have an overnight low just before the sun comes up. It's supposed to be 87. So I'm looking forward to that. At about 6 in the morning, maybe it'll be down to 87. Then as soon as the sun comes up, it'll go right up again. Anyhow, so like I said, I can't scroll all the way to the top. Luck Dragon apparently has some buffering going. I don't know if that's me or you. On my end, it looks good now. I don't know. So, anyhow, thanks for being here. I do see Just Incredibles here. Hey, Just Incredible, good to see you. Johnny Katz. Johnny Katz is in the driver's lounge. Damon Dog, the big old dog. Damon Dog, the big old dog. Damon Dog, the big old dog is here. I got to do that every single time now, Damon. Every single time that I see you for the first time in the chat, in the driver's lounge, now I have to do that. I just do these things. I don't know. But Damon Dog, the big dog, is here. Said right on time, Mr. Spock, warp speed, time to get warped. So he's talking to Mr. Spock. So apparently Mr. Spock is in the driver's lounge. I wasn't able to scroll back up to that. So Woke Mike is here. Hey, Woke Mike the mechanic. Mike and the Mechanics. One of these days, Woke Mike, I'm going to buy a car that needs work, and I'm going to drive it back to Texas or wherever you're at, and I'm going to have you work on my car. Give you some business. Aaron West is here. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for being a mod extraordinaire. Aaron West. Thank you, Aaron. Luck Dragon. Yeah, the aforementioned Luck Dragon is here. Hopefully getting the buffering issue figured out there. Roxanne79 is here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Happy birthday, brother. Big hug. So is it Luck Dragon's birthday? Didn't I already say? I think I already sang happy birthday to Luck Dragon. This might be belated birthday. I don't know. Damon Dog. Now that little ditty's in my head now. Damon Dog, the big dog's here. Josh, is Josh here? Yeah, Josh is here. Josh sees, gave me an update that he is alive. The ozone generator did not kill him or anyone in his family, as far as we know. And it's all cleared out, and they're doing well. So that's good to know. Woke Mike Trucker John. Well, the only chance I have to make anything really is when the intro was playing, and today's intro was kind of short. I've been doing these 30-minute intros. Today was only like 16 minutes. And change. So I went and made a quick 3-egg cheese omelet. I usually only make 2 eggs, but today I'm out of bread. I need to go shopping. I'm out of bread. I'm out of hash browns. I'm out of sausage. I'm out of bacon. I'm out of ham. I don't have any of that shit. So since I was just eating the omelet with no other stuff, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a 3-egg. I'm gonna make a 3-egger. And it was good. It was very, very good. Cheese, just cheese and I had a little bit of this leftover sweet barbecue sauce from this delicious fucking sandwich I ordered on the night. I'm still thinking about that sandwich. It was so fucking good. It was like this tri-tip sandwich, or I'm not sure if it was tri-tip. But it came from this barbecue restaurant. Delicious. I think I'm going to order one right after the show because it was so fucking good. But anyhow, so I had some leftover of that barbecue sauce, and so I put that inside the omelet just to put something in there. I mean, it was okay, but anyhow, yeah, I made an omelet. I only had 16 minutes to heat up the pan, cook the omelet, and then eat the omelet. And the omelet was like literally like this big, And just as that intro was ending, I had like 3 bites of it in my mouth. So, and someone said that eating is gross on the air and to not do it. So I was trying so hard to get those last bites down. Jolie's here. Hey, Jolie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being another mod extraordinaire. I've got the most extraordinary mods in the business, Jolie and Aaron. I'll need confirmation. I will need some confirmation that both are present before we do the thing that I do. Just like when I see Damon Dog, the big dog, I gotta sing that little ditty. There's another ritual. It's almost like I think I am getting OCD. Maybe I have OCD to some extent. Because whenever I see Damon Dog, the big old dog, I gotta go, Damon Dog, the big old dog is here. And then whenever I talk about 5K Hennessy Day, I have to like swing my arm. I don't know why. And then whenever I find out that Jolie and Aaron are both here simultaneously, there's this other little ritual that I have to do. Jolie's here. Is Aaron here still? Because you guys have lives and you guys pop in and out, so I never know for sure who's in and who's out. As soon as I get that confirmation, I'm going to do that thing that I do. Damon Dog says traditions matter. That's right. Some traditions we could do without, though, probably, right? There are good traditions and there are bad traditions. All right, I just got confirmation to do that thing that we do. You know that thing that we do when we have Aaron and Jolie moderating this motley bunch, you motley crew in the driver's lounge, keeping you guys in line. There's a thing that we do, and you know what we do. And right now, when we are at this certain thing, I like to announce it. I like to announce it to the entire complex, the entire apartment complex. I want everyone to know I want everyone to know, I want you all to know that we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. We're at full mod capacity, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And my neighbors, thank you. No. My neighbors, I don't know. I don't know how far that carries. So far, no one's called 911 or anything like that that I know of. No one's complained of the noise. So. Today is August 1st. Today is rent paying day. Speaking of, 911 and people knocking on my door. Today, office is open, I think. Right after the show, I'm going right down, pay my rent. It's such a relief to get that done. Let's see. Lug Dragon says, it's my girlfriend's birthday today, and my birthday is February 28th. And the day Donald Trump decided to invade Iran. Oh, such a gift he gave you. Well, okay, so happy birthday to your girlfriend, Lug Dragon. Wait, yeah, that's what. Am I reading this correctly? So happy birthday to Lug Dragon's girlfriend, Sophie. No, I don't know why I said Sophie. I should. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because I thought it was funny. I don't know. Let's see. Who else is here? We got Petrazi says, opera worthy TJ. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Blood Dragon says, Mike is important. Woke Mike 124. Timestamp there. Pensacola, Florida from Woke. That'd be a hell of a drive for me to take a car to you. Yeah, I might have to renege on that. On that working on the car thing. Let's see, who else? David Windler's here. Hey, David, good to see you. Now, I know we have David Weiss from Denver. Is David Windler also from Denver? Do we have two Daves from Denver? But Dave is reminding us it's 11:22 is when he posted this, so about, 18 minutes or so ago? Says Dems need to have shadow hearings on Putin and Epstein now. So what exactly is a shadow hearing? Well, it's like kind of like didn't they do that in Florida a few months ago, and they just had their own little hearing in a banquet room that they have a hearing. I guess that's good too. I mean, yeah, as far as exposure, yeah, let's expose this corruption. Let's not. I agree, David. Let's not be so timid and meek and quiet about this, because people always say we need fighters, we need fighters, we need fighters, and my first a lot of times my first response is, well, we don't have the majority, so we can't do anything. But you know what? These shadow hearings are probably something we could do, and I think it at least lets the Democrats know that the Democratic voters know that their party leaders are at least doing something and trying to expose the truth, trying to expose Putin for being the warmonger, war criminal that he is. We need to expose Netanyahu for the war criminal that he is. We need to keep up on Epstein, like Aaron Parnas was saying, Epstein. We could keep doing shadow hearings for Epstein. Let's keep it in the news. And I try to kind of defend Hakeem Jeffries somewhat. I try to defend him as best I can. But just there's a thing called body language. You know what I mean? And when I see Hakeem, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what words are coming out of his mouth. When I see Hakeem Jeffries, I just see this. He's a lot like Chuck Schumer, and they're both the leaders of each chamber there. They have this just milquetoast, bland, boring, body language and speech mannerisms, it's boring and it's bland and it comes off as weak. But when I see AOC, I'm like, yeah. When I see Jasmine Crockett, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. I'm like, yes, that's what we need. She says stuff, and it's like there's nothing boring about Jasmine Crockett. There's nothing bland about Jasmine Crockett. There's nothing that says weakness or milquetoast about Jasmine Crockett. That's the type of fucking leadership we need. And I realize she will be out because her district was redistricted away from her. But I'm just using her as an example because she's a great, I think, example of this body language and getting messages across that resonate with people. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, that's the type of leadership we need in Congress. And, I've heard people try to defend Hakeem Jeffries as being, well, he has that job because he knows how to get votes or some shit. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. He knows how to get votes, like in the in the House when they're trying to get votes to pass a bill or something. Why does my hair look all weird? So all this behind the scenes shit, not talking about your shadow hearings. I think that's a good idea. But like they might say behind the scenes, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, they are really good at their job. They know how to get the votes, and they know how to count the votes, and they know how to bring people to their side and get the votes and all this. Okay, that's one thing, but all this behind the scenes shit, it doesn't really do any good in the day and age of live streaming and social networks and all these platforms where people can get this shit, can get things like instantaneously. It's not like the old days where there was only 3 major networks and they only had their news on once a day or whatever. This is 24/7. This is a 24/7, 365 world, and you can get things on all kinds of platforms. And they need to be aware of that. And Hakeem Jeffrey, we need to have leadership that doesn't. When you look at the guy, you don't just go, ugh, this guy's a fucking pussy. That's who I got fighting for me. Hey, look, I'm no big macho man or anything like that, but if I got someone who's fighting for me, then I want fucking Rocky. Not the real Sly Stallone, who's turned out to be a real dirtbag, but I want the Rocky character. I want someone who's gonna actually fucking, I don't know, be a little bit intimidating looking or something. And I'm not saying the Speaker of the House has to be all ripped and buff or whatever, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying the body language and the mannerisms are so meek and mild, and we don't need meek and mild. We don't need that shit. So when people are saying we need fighters, I think that's what they're talking about. We need people who are going to be inspiring, who are going to inspire us and fire us up, us the voters. You need to fire us up and get us excited. But when I see, no matter what Hakeem Jeffries says, it could be the most perfect thing. It could be a right on thing. I'm right there with you 100%. But if he looks like this little meek, mild milquetoast, that's not it. It doesn't inspire me. And Chuck Schumer with his glasses down here and he's droning on and he's reading something. Everything is reading. He can't memorize anything apparently, and he's like, "We're going to fight back. Yes, we are. And I'm telling you, we're gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen." And I'm like, dude, go fucking retire. You're in your 80s now. Go fucking retire. And AOC, if you don't run for president, please, at some point, run for fucking Senate. Anyhow, that's my rant. That's my rant. Petrozzi, hottest month of the year. Yes, we got through July. Now we just got to get through August. Can we do it? I think we can do it. I think we can get through it. The months go by pretty quick. It's hard to believe we're already here in August. It seemed like July just started. We were just talking about the Freedom 250 being taken over by America 250 or vice versa, and what a shit show the whole thing was for our 250th anniversary of the country, our birthday, and how Trump made it into a laughing stock and into a joke, and it was really a sad joke. It's been a whole month already since we were talking about that stuff. Now here we are in the dog days. Aren't these the dog days of summer, August? So we got, about 30 days of August, and we just got to get through it. I'm in front of my air conditioner. I might not leave this spot, only to go pay my rent. Everything else, deliveries, food deliveries. No, if I had a car, I would go drive to the store. All right, skipping down. DPD is here. Hey, DPD, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Should I do that? I should do the show like Chuck Schumer, with my glasses down here, and just be like an old scrunched up old man. Petrozzi says, "Hey," I don't know. I'm trying to do a Chuck Schumer, Johnny. See, here's how I would normally do it in my voice. I'd be like, Johnny Katz is here. See, that's how you have a little enthusiasm in your voice, right? Hey, Johnny Katz is here. Good to see Johnny Katz. Thanks for being here, Johnny Katz, in the driver's lounge. Here's Chuck Schumer. I see Johnny Katz is in the driver's lounge. Thanks for being here, Johnny Katz. Good to see you. Let me read what Johnny Katz says. Johnny Katz says, I have to put an ice pack on the back of my iPhone or phone. I'm sorry, I added the I. It could be a Samsung. I don't know. Anyhow, otherwise, it will overheat and shut down. So what would you rather have? That, the Chuck Schumer, or rather like, hey, Johnny Katz is here. I have to put an I. Well, I don't read. You know the difference. I think I was doing a pretty good Chuck Schumer, by the way. I don't think I've ever done a Chuck Schumer. I kind of like it. Yeah, this is Chuck Schumer. I'm going to read some chats for you. Josh C. says it's 86 degrees in wherever he's at. I suppose it's not Buffalo. Josh C. does not live in Buffalo. He lives in Syracuse, the former state capital. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, the state capital is Albany, and that's what that is. And Just Credible's here. Just Incredible. I'm new. John rocks. Yes, he does. I would like to say, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, let's enter this into the congressional record that Trucker John, I would say that he rocks. Yes. Okay, enough of the Chuck Schumer. Instead of being a half hour behind, I'll be 2 hours behind. David, my iPad won't update anymore. Yeah, for some reason, my iPad is weird. I don't know. I don't know if this is an iPad issue or a YouTube issue as far as the not being able to set a goal today, because it's not there. There's a little button that I can push where I can do my goal, and it's not there. And I did try to like kind of reboot it, restart it, and it didn't help. It didn't help. Roxanne, it's only 83 here today. Roxanne 79 says that. I forget. Is Roxanne, are you East Coast or are you a little bit more inland, like Ohio or something? I forget. MJ Daniel from Washington State. See, it's another one of my little rituals. Whenever I see MJ Daniel, I always have to do a little kind of a punch in the air for some reason. I don't know. I do not know. But MJ Daniel from Washington State says money for Hennessy. Yeah, let's get some money. Well, I got that bottle of Hennessy, by the way, was free. That was given to me by that was back when I was still doing Uber. That's how long I've had that, because I haven't driven for Uber for going on 2 years, I think. I think it'll be 2 years in, will it be 2 years this November when all that whole bullshit started with Uber? But yeah, I was dropping off this young Asian couple at the airport, and they asked me if I wanted that bottle because they didn't think they were going to get it through customs or whatever, or get it, they didn't think they were going to be able to bring it with them. So, although I think they could have just stuck it in their, well, yeah, you can only have liquids. Yeah, I guess it would have been a whole thing. So a big process to do that. So they said, "You want this?" And it was completely unopened, and I completely trusted them. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." So there's that. Johnny Katz, well, that's a little dramatic. I would really put you at NPR pledge driver, but you're not even that annoying, you know. I'm not sure if that's to me or who that's to. Skip it on down. Damon Dog says new follow bracelet. This one is a hammered shark. I'll track him later. I don't know what follow means. Jolie says video's fine. Josh sees, did TJ cook his omelet on the sidewalk today? No, I did not. No. Probably could have, but that would be gross. I would need an ozone generator to clean the sidewalk first, probably. Roxanne79 says that Damon Dog deserves a Diddy intro. I believe so. I agree. I even made a short video of it, if you guys saw that. Every day, if you didn't notice, every day, the day after the live streams, I usually post at least 5 shorts from this live stream or from the previous day's live stream. Just so you know, just to give you a little behind the scenes. So tomorrow, on Sunday, I'll be posting at least 5, maybe more, but usually at least 5 little shorts that I take out of this live stream. So, Damon Dog says I have an ozone generator that hooks up to my CPAP, kills germs. That's what I didn't even think of that, but yeah, I have that. It's like it's a bag. You put the thing in the bag, and there's this little thing you turn on. Yeah. I don't know why Brooklyn is saying rest in peace, Damon Dog. Damon Dog is still with us. Mr. Spock says, I had a 4-egg omelet with onions, maple smoked sausage, and Swiss cheese. That sounds delicious. Mr. Spock, that sounds freaking delicious. And you got all them chickens, so you've got plenty of eggs. Mr. Spock says it was really good. I bet it was. That sounds good. Aaron West, present. This is when I was trying to, I think when I was trying to determine if we were at, you know what, if we were at full mod capacity. Josh C says, I noticed that my couch pillows don't smell like wet dog after using the ozone generator. Dave Weiss from Denver is here. Hey, Dave Weiss. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. David says, I had to replace the AC compressor in my Honda Civic. Neighborhood garage did the job for just under $1,000. The clutch pulley fell off. Works great now. Yeah, without that clutch pulley, not going to turn the belt. Alrighty, skipping on down a little bit. Getting through the full mod capacity part of the chat there. But I will read this one again. Petrozzi says, opera worthy, TJ. Just don't tell that to Wes. Oh, there he is right there. Because he is a music aficionado and does not think my singing is very good. Josh Steves cracks me up. And your wife cracks me up. Says the full mod capacity announcement is the one that makes my wife think TJ is a weirdo. Mission accomplished. Anyhow, Blood Dragon says the best dang mods in the world. You're the best damn mods in the world. I guess singing it. There's Wes Webb. Hey, Trucksters. Hey, Wes Webb. How you doing today, Wes? Hope things going well with you. You know, hope you're doing well. Oh, David Windler. I'm in the East Bay, San Francisco, where it's 74 degrees. Oh, you're just bragging now. Trying to make us all feel jealous at 74 degrees in August. Here's David Weiss from Denver with a $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much. David Weiss from Denver. I'm going to count that unofficially towards our unofficial goal of 5 super chats or super stickers. So that's 1 out of 5 there. Damon's dog says, when I see Hakeem, all I can see is his hands. Aaron West says, I had my settlement from my last job. DPD says, TJ, shadow hearings involve the unofficial proceedings held by the political minority party. Yeah, I kind of explained it. I kind of went into depth about that. So. West says Jazzy's not a team player. She's a showboater, just like AOC. West Webb, go fuck yourself, but I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're doing okay, but go fuck yourself. They're not showboaters, motherfucker. It's called getting the truth out. It's called not being afraid to say the things that need to be said. AOC and Jasmine Crockett, there are fearless warriors in the Democratic Party. So fuck you, Wes Webb, but I hope you're feeling better. But still, go fuck yourself. You're still an asshole. Big Hook, the Big Canuck is here. Hey, Big Hook, the Big Canuck. I kind of do something with Big Hook there. Well, I guess my ritual with Big Hook is always calling him the Big Canuck. And I'm not sure if he likes that or not. Anyhow, Big Hook says Hakeem and Schumer fall into the Pink Floyd comfortably numb presence. Yeah, but I would say it's not too comfortable. It doesn't make me comfortable to watch them. They make me squirm in my seat. And I don't like to squirm in my seat. Petrozzi's got it right. Petrozzi says, I don't think, another thing is he goes, Petrozzi. Hey, Petrozzi. Petrozzi says, I don't think AOC and Crockett are showboaters. They're just passionate women speaking the truth. And people like Wes Webb cannot handle when women speak the truth. Because Wes Webb is a lot like Trump in that regard. and a lot of these Republican, misogynistic, bigoted assholes. Brooklyn says we're talking about the cost of Cobra, $850 a month, I guess. Cobra insurance, yeah, that's always been high. Justice AZ, Justice A through Z, Love Saves Lives is here. Hey, Justice AZ, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Justice AZ has her own channel. Guys, check out Justice AZ. There's a lot of crime story reporting. Right now, the big one is, of course, I don't know the names. Is it Wells? The case where I guess a young black guy was with his, I guess, friends. These white guys, what was it, 3 or 4 white guys? They're all were very young, I think, around 20. I'm not sure if they were still teens or if they're in their early 20s. I don't know. But there's young guys. They went out to some island. They all came back except the black guy. Apparently, it ended up drowning. It's very mysterious, suspicious. It's very suspicious goings on there, whether that was an accident or foul play. And Justice AZ covering that very extensively. So if you're into that kind of thing, or even if you're not, just go in and say hi when you go in there. Go into the chat, say hi to Justice AZ. She's a great gal, great person, and check out her channel. She does live streams, throughout the week. Let's see. What's what you fight behind the scenes? Well, there needs to be some stuff that's not just behind the scenes, so that the American voters and the Democratic voters don't just sit around going, when are they going to do something? We got to see something. We got to see that they're doing something. There's some stuff that maybe will remain behind the scenes, but you got to come out, and you got to get in front of that microphone, and you got to have a little bit of fucking spirit in your voice, a little bit of something besides just this bland, boring bullshit. That's why I never liked John Kerry. I never liked Robert Mueller. People like that. They're boring as fuck. Am I boring? I'm not boring. You might think I'm stupid. You might be right about that in a lot of cases, but I'm not fucking boring. I know how to fucking talk and keep people awake. John Kerry, Robert Mueller, Chuck Schumer, put me to sleep. They are a fucking cure for insomnia. And we don't need those type of people in leadership positions. We need people who know how to talk clearly, and don't beat around the bush. Even Nancy Pelosi would do some of that shit. And I know they have to be careful. They try to, not say anything that's going to be a good soundbite for the opposition or whatever. But fuck it, man. Just have some fucking personality. They're boring and bland, and no one likes boring and bland. Why the fuck do you think we put fucking brown sugar and raisins and shit in our oatmeal? Because otherwise it's boring and bland as shit. No one's going to eat oatmeal unless you put some shit in it. Unless you sweeten it up. Paul Burrows is here. Says, I give up a marriage. I foster women until they find a forever home. That's pretty good. But Draw says, I thought Schumer was selling eyeglasses. Probably. Luck Dragon says, I always thought when I was younger that when people get older, they tend to get more conservative and right-leaning. Now that I'm older, I just realized they were assholes the whole time. Yeah, that whole thing is a big myth. That's something that the right wing tries to put out there too. So they're trying to they're trying to trick people into thinking that, oh, I'm getting older, so I should be conservative. I remember Michael Medved would say that. You guys remember Michael Medved? I'm not even sure if he's still alive. I know he had a big cancer thing a while ago. I think he's still alive. But anyhow, Michael Medved, who was a fucking movie fucking critic for years and years and years. And then when that didn't pan out anymore, then he became this right-wing, conservative, ultra-right-wing conservative talk show host. And then he started with that shit, that when you're young, you're liberal. When you get older, you become conservative because, because you're wiser and you know better and all this shit. And so basically, if you're a liberal, it's because you're young and stupid and naive. And then as you get older and more wiser and knowledgeable, you just naturally become a conservative. Oh, that's bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. DPD says, TJ, you are a parent and I'm a parent. You're a parent, I'm a parent. And there is nothing we wouldn't do to protect and stand up for our children. The same must fucking apply to our politicians. And if you can't do that, stay out of politics. So I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but what are we talking about? The politicians? Politicians standing up for, I guess, the metaphoric children, the metaphoric voters, are the children the voters, metaphorically? I get you, though. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, we need fighters, yeah. MJ Daniel says, their policy is as weak as their language. The shadow hearings is just one example. They are far too traditional to change. The Democratic Party needs more New Deal fire. I think we need more AOCs. I think we need more Jasmine Crockett's. I love Elizabeth Warren. Maybe you guys don't. I love Elizabeth Warren. I think we need more Elizabeth Warrens. They don't have to, the members of Congress don't all have to be Jasmine Crockett or AOC or Elizabeth Warren. Notice probably my three favorite politicians, and they're all women. But they don't have to all be that. But we need more. The majority needs to be of that type of spirit. You know. All right. So what did? So Johnny Cat says, yeah, these people don't even know that they can make a fist with their hands. We need a fighter and none of this reaching across the aisle bullshit. Those days are over. Scorched earth, motherfucker. Well, I understand. Hey, look, I'm angry. By the fact that we shouldn't be where we're at right now. We should not be having this pedophile fucking rapist in charge of anything. And yet he holds the most powerful position in the world. So I get that. But I do think that we still need to reach across the aisle. Or, and this is what Wes says. Easy enough to say, Johnny Katz, but our only power is in our vote. All the whining and hand wringing does us no good. Well, yeah, we need to vote, but we also need, I think, the party, the Democratic Party, if they want to win elections and not just things get so fucking bad like they are now that it's kind of going to be easy, I think. And I shouldn't say that, but as far as winning the House back and possibly winning the Senate, it's not really going to be because of anything the Democrats are doing to get people out to vote. It's just that things are so fucking shitty and horrible under Trump that it's bringing people out. So the Democrats, the Democratic Party, the leadership, they need to, if they really want to win elections in the future, they need to do things that are going to inspire people to vote for them. If you get them like a Medicare for all, you're going to inspire people to vote for you because they're going to see that, hey, that's a great thing. I'm not paying $3,000 a month for my family's insurance anymore, or whatever it is. You know, some of these fucking crazy plans. You got to get things done. The Democratic Party needs to start getting things done. And I'm all for incrementalism and all that kind of shit, but my God, we're way past incrementalism. Because we have been taking so many steps backwards. This isn't 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. We've been taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. So we need to make up for lost time whenever we can, whenever we get majorities, and if we see an opportunity to get something really meaningful passed, we cannot let that time pass, because you never know how long you're going to be in the majority if we get majorities back. You just never know how long it's going to be. And I realize with Trump in the White House, or any Republican, whether it's Trump or Vance, getting things passed is going to be really, really hard. But this 2026 midterm election is really and getting Democrats back in power is really is like a stopgap measure. It's to stop these Republicans from continuing to destroy our democracy, destroy our Constitution, destroy our country, and bringing on just full on oligarchical rule, total fascism. This 2026 is to stop that. 2028, then we need to get in the White House, and we need to keep Congress. And Congress is the House and the Senate. It's both. And to do that, though, we need to show people that the Democrats need to show the voters that they will fight for them. They will stand up for them. They will bring them things that will improve their life, their quality of life. That we will improve these social safety nets, so that when you do get sick, you don't go into medical bankruptcy, and you don't get turned down, and you don't receive life-saving treatment or whatever. Big Hook says monotone expression is not enthralling or comforting. They seem too comfortable with their leadership privilege and are not great representatives of the existential threat we are confronting. MJ Daniel from up in Washington State there says there must be a lot of procedural things Jeffries and Schumer can be doing right now, and the Democrats need to learn to use the media better. I agree. Big Hook 1150. So I'm 26 minutes behind. I like to keep it under a half an hour. If I can stay under a half hour of being behind, then that's not too bad, I don't think. It's when it's 45 minutes and 48 minutes, that's when it's pretty bad. Johnny Katz is an Android, fuck iPhones. Lug Dragon says AOC will be a senator in 2028. And I think there is a great chance that she will be president in 2036 after the next Democratic president in 2028 serves. You misspelled two, but okay, 2 terms. I like that timeline. I think it's a good timeline, Blood Dragon. I wouldn't mind that timeline. Johnny Cass says actually you would be a great game show host, like The Price is Right with Trucker John, or not Tucker John, but. I got you. Come on down. Well, would I be the announcer guy or would I be the host? Because there's the announcer. He's like, it's like, Cecilia, you're the next contestant. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. So there's the announcer guy. And then there's the Drew Carey guy, who used to be the Bob Barker guy. Would be like, what's your bid? Closest one without going over wins the bid. Paul Burrows says, Johnny Cass, if you're looking at your phone, it's an iPhone. Ba-da-bum. Big O pick it. Cats and dogs living together. It's total anarchy. Total anarchy. Dogs and cats living together. Well, actually, in Ghostbusters, Bill Murray wasn't really all Carl the maintenance guy or whatever. But it was just more like, dogs and cats living together. Total mayhem. Dogs and cats living together. Tell them about the big Twinkie. Or whatever. What about the big Twinkie? Lenny. Bubby. Millions of votes. Anyhow. From Stripes. I want to party with you, man. You and the cow. I want to party with you, man. DPD says, did anyone see a clip of Chuck Schumer being put in his place by a protester? Even in that instance, Chuck didn't have any gumption to stand up for his convictions. I don't think I did see that. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I came across that. Oh, Vazantha Elf is here. Hey, or I say Elf, but it's E1F, so I don't know. But anyhow, Vazantha's here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Alton Gillespie's here from Hesperia. You're in Hesperia? Aren't you usually in Texas? Are you visiting in Hesperia? I have family in Hesperia. If Brad is watching, hey, Brad and Debbie hello, if you guys are watching. I don't think they are, but you never know. Hi, Brad and Debbie. Cousin Brad, Cousin Debbie out there. Oh, and Cousin Chris out in Hesperia. Hesperia, California, right? Is there any other Hesperia besides Hesperia, California? Anyhow, so you're out in California. You're out in Cali, apparently, today. All right, I'm skipping down a little bit, not too much. I'm going to skip down a little bit. MJ Daniel, when I was in Tucson in 91, it hit 117. Oh, thank you. The high here today will be around 71. Yeah. I remember being in Palm Springs in about 81. What year was that? Oh, yeah, that was 91. I guess around 81. I was going to College of the Desert in Palm Desert, which is right next to Palm Springs. And I remember it getting up to like 118. I think at that time that was the hottest. I think that was the hottest temperature I had ever been out in. It'd be like 118, 119. And I was like, oh my God. And I grew up in the high desert. This is the low desert, where there's always about a 10-degree temperature difference. Like if it's 118 in Palm Springs, it's probably about 108 up where I was from. Oh, Jolie's getting a CPAP next week. Oh, and you're sad about it. Well, believe me, there's going to be an adjustment period. Like I said before, give yourself a week. Because the first night, you're probably going to hate it. But just bear with it. Stick with it. And every night, you'll get more and more used to it. And by the time you've gone through a whole week, you'll be like, you don't even notice it. Well, you'll notice it. But it will be a lot better. And you should be seeing a better quality of sleep. And you should be waking up more refreshed and energetic. Like me. Don't I look refreshed and energetic? So I guess, sad if you have obstructive, sleep apnea. I mean, that's a kind of a dangerous, scary thing, but it should improve. That should improve your quality of sleep, which should in turn increase your quality of life. Just give it time. It's going to be an adjustment. And they have all kinds of different masks. You might want to try different ones. I got the one that I got, and I just stuck with it. I've been thinking about maybe trying some other ones. But the one I have is kind of a big, giant mask. It's got the head, you put this little thing on your head, and then it goes down, and it has the little straps that come around and clicks on. So it keeps everything tight to your face. But they have some that are just like nostril ones. They have a bunch of different ones. You might want to try different ones until you find the one you really like. I didn't do that. I just got the one I got, and I've been sticking with it ever since. But give it some time. There's going to be an adjustment period, but once you get it to where you just go to sleep, and when you're asleep, you don't even really know it's on, and you should be getting better quality sleep and feeling much more rested when you get up and everything. You shouldn't feel all tired and everything. So Jolie did the sleep test. Oh, you failed it brilliantly. Oh, I guess failing it means, if you pass it, that means you wouldn't have needed it, I guess is what you're saying. But, yeah. Julie says, I'm not looking forward to it, but hopefully it'll help me sleep better. It should. Like I said, give it a week. Every night that you use it, it should get a little bit easier. At least it did for me. Because the first night, I took the thing off, and I was like, fuck this shit. I'll take my chances. I'll lose my job. Because I was as a truck driver, and if you get diagnosed with sleep apnea, then you have to go on a CPAP if you want to keep your job, even if you want to keep your license. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do something else, But then I sat there and I was like, okay, I got to do this. I got to keep my job. And I put it back on, and I made it. And that's when I made this deal with myself. And hey, Squirrel Girl, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Lookers Fee, happy Saturday, TJ and children. Yippee to Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now that's 2 out of 5, even though we don't have the official goal, but unofficially, 2 on our goal of 5. But yeah, so I made this deal with myself. I said, look, just put it back on. Just do this for a week. And if after 1 week, if you still hate it like you do tonight, then you can tell them to go fuck themselves and you're not going to do it. So I did it. So every night for a week, I kept putting it on, and every night it got a little bit easier, a little bit easier, a little bit easier. It got a little bit where I could tolerate it. Because at first it was really hard to tolerate. You're not used to strapping something to your head. You got this mask on and this this sort of head thing, and then there's these straps that go around, and so you're not used to that, and so you got to get used to it. But like I said, every night you'll get a little bit more used to it, and by 7 nights, after that 7th night, for me it was like it didn't even bother me. West Webb, I wake up to pee and to switch sides when my shoulder gets sore. See, that's the thing too. I've been doing CPAP for like 8 years now, or something like that. Whatever it was, how long it's been. I think it's been more than 5 years. No, it was right when COVID started. That's right. It was like 2020. It was like, I think March or May or June. So it was only in probably the spring of 2020. Because I remember I did my sleep test, because I had signed up for the sleep test, and they sent me all this information to actually go down to their sleep study center in Fontana at Kaiser. And I had an appointment and everything, but then and then you do these over the phone these video conferences where they talk to you about it. And I go, yeah, so I'm all set to go down to Fontana for my sleep study. And then she's like, she goes, no, we don't do that anymore. We're not doing that anymore because of COVID. We're doing everything remotely. And I'm like, oh, well, all the information you guys sent me didn't say anything about that. And they're like, she's like, she goes, well, someone made a mistake. Yeah, we're gonna send you a monitor that we'll send to you, and you hook up to it, and it will send us the results, like magically through the air or whatever. But yeah, so that was 2020. So it's been 6 years. God, 6 years. I've been on the CPAP for 6 years, and prior to that, I was getting up 2, 3, 4 times a night to go pee. With the CPAP, I just sleep right through the night. Now the bedwetting's a little. I don't bedwet, but that's always my joke. The side effect of that is bedwetting. No, for some reason, I don't wet the bed, but I don't have to get up and pee. I just sleep right through the night. West Webb says Rockford is 66 and raining. Luck Dragon says the East Bay has only hit 90 one time so far this summer, but if you drive 20 miles outside of the Bay area, it is 90 degrees plus all the time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you go past Livermore and go through over the pass, and you start going into, Tracy and in the Central Valley. It's going to be 110, 115 degrees out there. Oh, it must be 104 here in Victorville. Dude, you're in my old stomping grounds. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Apple Valley and Victorville. We moved back and forth a lot. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but the two cities are right next to each other, and we moved back and forth a half a dozen times from the time we moved there when I was 3.5 to Apple Valley, all the way until 9th grade. When I was in 9th grade, we probably moved back and forth between Victorville and Apple Valley at least 4 or 5 times. We did get one Fresno move in and one Big Bear move in that time span also. Anyhow, Jolie says they said I'm having an average of 22 obstructed breathing events per hour, and my oxygen drops to 82% when I'm sleeping. Might explain why I feel tired all the time. Yeah. And I think my average was like in the 50s or something. My average obstructive breathing events. I think mine was even higher than that. But yeah, that it should help. It's going to help you sleep so much better, Jolie. So much better. MJ Daniel, in regard to talking about people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett, he says they're speaking the truth with passion, and the Democratic Party needs more like that. I agree, MJ. I agree. DBD says you can bring alcohol onto a plane and check it in with security as long as it fits the airline size limits. I have done it many times. I had a bottle of Barolo from Italy. Well, I'm glad that that young Asian couple didn't know that, because I scored a bottle of Hennessy. Score! And now we're going to use that for the 5K Hennessy Day as soon as we get to 5K. So please, if you haven't done so already, if you like the show, or even if you don't like the show, but you just want to see me drink a bottle of Hennessy, hit that subscribe button. See what I did there? Hit that subscribe button. And hopefully we'll get to 5K before I turn 80. Well, stop your fucking crying. Stop trying to be a rabble rouser. Fuck you. I'm not even going to tell you what I just read of yours. Here's Jolie with the link to Justice A through Z. Love saves lives right there. Go over there, give Justice AZ hit the sub button. It's not going to hurt you. Just like here, just like there. Like, subscribe, share, hit the hype button, all that good stuff. And but yeah, there's the link. And that was probably 30 minutes ago, so sorry for just not getting to it, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I'm going to skip down a little bit. I'm going to skip through all the West Web bullshit. Trying to get my blood pressure up. Fuck you, Wes, fuck you. I'm not even gonna read your chats. I'm just gonna say fuck you, Wes Webb. Yeah, Jolie says maybe I should skip the CPAP and just put on some Chuck Schumer to sleep better. There's Kimchi. Happy truck anniversary. Yippee, Kimchi. Happy truck anniversary. 28 months. Love all you beautiful progressives. Thanks, Kimchi. Thanks for being a member. Again, guys, we have memberships, and that really does help support the show. Thank you so much. I got 50 or 60 members, and you guys really help keep the show going. I'm just sort of skipping down a little bit. Forgive the dead air, but just trying to pick one out. I'm skipping down. Wally Star's here. Hey, Wally Star, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Wally Star says, good afternoon, Trucker John. Been just lurking, watching your show silently. My pre-existing medical issues keeping me quiet. Must say your intro at the start of the show are great. I'm glad you like it, Wally Star. I'm really glad you like it. I'm glad to get that kind of feedback, because it knows I'm not just doing it for nothing. So thanks for letting me know that you like it. Big says lots to do till November. Get paperwork ready. Have 2 plans to vote if mail-in ballots are not available. Join up and be a poll worker or a telephone canvas for your local Democratic representative. There you go. Yeah, we don't have to just wait until November 3rd. There's lots of stuff we can do. And why is my hair sticking out? And which hand am I using? Which side is it? Kim Shi says, I'm getting more fucking radical, sick of us being behind barely developed countries. Yeah, I think we're getting sick of it. A lot of us are getting sick of this stagnation and going backwards. And they've been taking us backwards. Every single time a Republican gets in office, they take us backwards. And then whatever time we get as Democrats in power, first we got to spend half the fucking term just cleaning up their fucking messes that they make. And then we might have some time to get one or two things done. And then the American people don't vote. And then they let in assholes again, like these Republican assholes like Wes Webb. And then they take us back. And they start clawing everything back. And so it's this constant tug of war. It's a constant fucking tug of war. And I that's why we need fighters. We need people. We need those anchor men who can keep us from moving backwards. And we need some fighters up front that can pull us forwards. I think that was a good analogy. And make some big change. We need to make up for lost time. I understand incrementalism. I know that the masses are asses. And if you give them too much at once, a lot of them will just freak out, like Wes Webb. You know, it's just too much too soon. But fuck it, we got to make up for lost time, man. If the iron is hot, we got to strike when the iron is hot. If we get a hot iron, we better strike. No dilly-dallying around. No Chuck Schumer with his glasses at the end of his nose, and he's talking about he's reading some prepared statement. I have a prepared statement to read for you now, and I hope that you'll all listen and not fall asleep, okay? You know, none of that shit. We're sick and tired of that shit. Chuck Schumer probably votes the way I would vote 99.9% of the time. But I'm sick and tired of his old fucking stupid ass, glasses at the end of his nose, reading prepared statements. In this low fucking monotone bullshit. MJ Daniel, both quotes here, both sides are the same crap. It's from a conservative think tank, so I bet they probably have focus groups for this shit. Wes Webb, happy truck anniversary. Yippee to old Wes Webb. Thanks for being a longtime member. As you get older, you become more realistic. Well, I don't think it's too unrealistic to ask our party leadership to not put people to sleep when they talk. I don't think that's being unrealistic. Have a nice day. I hope you're feeling well. And thank you for being a member. I do appreciate you. Happy truck anniversary, versary. Happy truck anniversary to old Wes Webb. Be right back. Kimchi said, be right back. I have a murder to attend to. Big Hook says, if you can afford to get a passport for voting in November, get one. Trump is going to make it as difficult as humanly possible. Check your registration once per week, 14 weeks to the election. I've been meaning to get a passport. Mine, I had one, and it expired a long time ago. I've been thinking about getting one because at some point I would like to go. I would like to maybe see London, see Paris, at least. A couple places in Europe. I don't need to go on a whole big thing, but see the Alps or something. That'd be nice. That would be nice. Before I kick off this mortal coil. Maybe see Tokyo. I heard that's pretty cool. Not sure if I want to see Australia. I'm just tired of the heat. MJ Daniel says if Schumer would put down the grandpa glasses and notes and just speak from the heart, he is too measured. Yeah, don't they have people? Don't they have people that look at him like his people? Are they all too afraid to speak up? Is there no one that can stand up to the mighty Chuck Schumer and say, hey, Chucky baby. You know, you're even putting me to sleep, and I work for you. You know, or what? I mean, I don't know. DPD, if AOC was running in my district, I would vote GOP. Go fuck yourself, Wes Webb. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you. Typical fucking conservative dino is what you are. You're a Democrat in name only. You fucking piece of shit. Vote blue no matter who, unless it's someone that's like AOC. Fuck you. I know you never say vote blue no matter who, but still. Fuck off. You think that a Republican is a better choice than AOC. Why? What has AOC ever done to you or said that is so offensive to you that you would vote for a Republican over AOC? Name one motherfucking thing that's so bad and so horrible that you would run to the fucking GOP. You fucking piece of shit. Name one thing that's so horrible that you can't vote for her and you would vote for a Republican over her. You are a piece of crap. But thanks for being a longtime member. David Weston never said my ex-wife needed a CPAP. She was high maintenance about it. Also outweighed me. I was 8 inches taller. For a medical professional, she was quite unhealthy. Divorce was an expensive relief. Wow. That's a whole bunch of stuff there. That's a whole bunch of stuff there. Blood Dragon says sometimes there's a 3-month period before you can even actually get your passport. So if you're going to get one, do it right now. Do not delay. Wes Webb, 30,000 people on average die needlessly every day from war and famine. And yet you want to support a fucking GOP that has all these Doge cuts that's going to raise that number. And you want to support a party that has a pedophile fucking president that leads us into a war. So again, go fuck yourself, you stupid fuck. But thank you for being a longtime member. Oh, is that what the follow bracelet? Demon Dogs. I just skipped over it. My hammerhead shark is named Gilly. He is currently off the coast of St. Augustine. So what? Your bracelet tracks the hammerhead shark or something? That's kind of cool, I guess. West Webb, just keep it clean and get a battery backup. Yeah, that's good advice for the CPAP. Those ozone cleaning things are really cool, so you don't have to, try to wash everything out with soap and water. Just put it in the bag. They have these little ozone things. A backup battery. I have a backup battery, but mine doesn't work. I use my backup battery as a stand for my iPad now, but I had a backup battery because I used that in my truck. Blood Dragon says, I feel so bad for a lot of people outside of California because it's very easy for me to vote. With that being said, I do not think I do not think the Save America Act is going to pass. Me either, Blood Dragon. I don't think it's going to pass either. David Weiss from Denver says follow is a tracking for critters famous for use on sharks, which is cool. Yeah, I guess that's cool. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like sharks, to tell the truth, but I like dolphins better. I'm just skipping down because I don't want to get too far behind. So I'm going to skip down a little bit if you guys don't mind. Guys talking about cats, I guess. Yeah, cats are nice. I like cats. I like kitties. I get my kitty fix by watching kitty videos on YouTube. Kitten videos. Let me emphasize kitten. Wes Webb, you finally said something reasonable. Wes Webb says if you are required by government, if you are required to buy government ID, it is essentially a poll tax, and that's why Hal Sparks always says, yeah, if you want to do have a voting ID, then give everyone a free ID. Otherwise, it's a poll tax. All right, I'm skipping down a little bit. I'm just now getting to Squirrel Girl's $10 super chat. So another yippee going out to you. And here's a thumbs up. Here's the heart. Yeah, Squirrel Girl says Lurkers Fee, happy Saturday, TJ and Trucklers. Julie says, thanks, Sugar John. I get the CPAP next Thursday. I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, let me know. You know, I'm just telling you, don't give up on it. I know my first instinct was fuck this shit. But then I realized I had to do it or I was not going to be able to drive. And so I made a deal with myself. I said, okay, after 1 week, if you still hate it so much like this and you can't stand it, then I won't make you do it. I was talking to myself. So yeah, I'm really behind. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Jolie says, I watched a travel video to Cuba, West Webb. They are in huge trouble, out of gas. Electricity barely works, running out of food. Awful. And for what reason? For no reason. There's no reason for that we're blockading that. It's just another Trump dick move. Another dick move. And he thinks he's cool, and he thinks if he can pluck out is he trying to get what's his face's brother out of there or something, who's like 99 years old? I mean, come on, man, this is stupid. This is the type of people that West Webb backs. Yeah, so that's what DPD is telling Jolie, that if the machine becomes too much, you can check and see if you could try nasal valves. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. There's different things you can try. They do have, like a little thing. It just sort of clips in your nose like this. I've never tried them, but there are several different ways you can go, and you might want to experiment with different ones if you want. I mean, each one costs money and stuff, but I don't know what insurance covers. When I did mine, I was working with Schneider. Let's see, was I? Well, by that time, I was an IC, and I had Kaiser Insurance. Kaiser was covering a lot of it, but I had to pay out of pocket, though. I did have to pay out of pocket. I don't think my insurance covered it now I think about it, because I had to pay. They paid for the study and stuff like that, but I had to buy the machine, and I bought a refurbished one for like $400 because the new ones were like $1,500 or something like that, or $1,200 or something. So, and they said, yeah, they have refurbished ones. Like, yeah, I'll take that. So I just got a refurbished one, and it looks completely brand new. It didn't look, you couldn't even tell the difference. David Dog says, my sleep test, I quit breathing 131 times. Wow. Wow, that's even way more than me. I think mine was in the 50s or something like that. Yeah, 131. Woo, Damon Dog wins the prize for most times stop breathing per hour. Yeah, Jolie's saying the video I watched was awful. People begging for $1. This Cuba story, it probably doesn't get very much attention either. Maybe that's a story we need to start bringing out more. Brooklyn says, TJ, I don't know how you get to 2 liters of water and daily. I might get 1 liter and then wake up all night. Yeah, I just finished this one. This is a 1 liter bottle. I just finished this. I will definitely drink another one today, probably even a third one. I do pee a lot. Well, I don't think I pee all that much though. I mean, I don't think it's not like every 2 seconds. It's I think just normal times. Jolie says my highest was over 50 but average 22. Marcus Mills checking in. Been a while. Hey, Marcus, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Thanks for coming back. Pull up a chair, stay a while. Hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, all that good stuff. Hit that thumbs up. Big Hook says mass human suffering seems to always increase whenever a Republican is in the presidency, but even worse with Trump and Project 2025 oligarchs running the show. Yep. These are the worst. I think these are the worst times of my lifetime. I mean, like I've talked before, the 60s were pretty hairy. The 60s were pretty volatile, violent, assassinations going off all over the place with both the Kennedys and MLK and Malcolm X. The Vietnam War was a full-on raging, by the mid and late 60s. Lots of soldiers coming home in body bags. Protesters. Kent State was that 70? Was that, I think maybe, but still around that time, and just lots of stuff. But then we had, Civil Rights Act that got passed. We had Medicare Act, Medicare and Medicaid Act was passed. So we had good things in civil rights and with healthcare going forward. But we had this awful war, and we had these stupid fucking assassinations. That was a very volatile decade, but we had great music, the Beatles and the Stones, and just great classic, what now we call classic rock music. You know, the whole movement, the peace movement, the hippies. You know, and I was a little kid seeing all this, but I had cousins that were older than me, and they were hippies, and they were, you know, they were doing the whole thing, and the long hair, and the bell bottoms, and the peace signs, and everything. So the '60s were something. The '60s were really uh, kind of an amazing decade. It's kind of scary in a lot of ways, but hopeful in a lot of ways. You know, and then we had, of course, the '70s, '80s, '90s. You can go through all these decades, but I mean, because just a quick thing, you know, the '70s, you know, is Watergate. It's the embarrassment and shame of Watergate and exposing really a really corrupt president there in the early '70s, and then we're going through, you know, inflation and gas shortages, OPEC, all that kind of stuff. Iran Contra leads us to Reagan. We go into the '80s with Reagan, and we have high inflation, high unemployment with Reagan. Just demonization of unions. We see these so-called Reagan Democrats, which I will never understand. Democrats are voting for Reagan. Democrats are voting for Republicans. I will never fucking understand that. If you're not really a Democrat if you're doing that, and really helping that right-wing agenda, that neoliberalism, the trickle-down economics, you know, supply side, all that shit doesn't fucking work. But that enabled that by electing Reagan twice, plus his vice president, you know, Bush Sr. So we had 12 years of that fucking bullshit through the '80s, early '90s, and then we get Clinton in the '90s, where we see, you know, just opposite, really low unemployment, lots of jobs being created, tech boom, all that kind of stuff. We got family medical leave. You know, we got some sort of advancement in healthcare. Hillary was trying, as the first lady, was trying to promote things like you know, healthcare for all, SNAP, or at least getting healthcare for children and SNAP programs and stuff like that. So we had this you know, 8 years of a glimmer of hope, and then we go right back and get Bush. And I know there was the hanging chads and the Supreme Court basically appointing W. Bush, as president, and then we go right into 9/11, a president very, very pre-Trump, a precursor to Trump, foreshadowing of Trump, where this motherfucker was stupid and dumb, unqualified, would not even read his daily presidential briefings that had things in there about, we think the Taliban is planning on flying planes into buildings, and he never saw that because he was too busy either golfing. He's like, hey, watch me make this drive, or he was out on his ranch clearing weeds out, or, you know, shit like that. Didn't really give a fuck about being president. So we end up with 9/11, and we get into Iraq, we get into Afghanistan for 20 years, and we have, again, by the time W is done, almost done with his second term, we've already gone through a housing bubble burst. We have the whole financial district on the verge of collapse. We're headed for the greatest recession that we've ever had, almost going into another great depression under George W. Bush. This is what happens. And then, okay, we're able to get Obama. Obama, of course, gets us out of that, cleans things up, turns things around. To some people's, not fast enough to some people's liking. Some people will still shit on Obama, even though he took us from the verge of financial collapse, was able to get health care to millions of people, 24 million people or something like that. But still, for some people, that's not good enough, apparently. And then we end up with a fucking pedophile, rapist, felon in Donald Trump, not just once, but twice. We got a slight break in between with Joe Biden, who in 4 years took a broken economy that Donald Trump had totally wasted, a really good economy that he was handed off by Obama, and he destroyed it. He mishandled COVID intentionally, resulting in over 1 million deaths in this country. Biden gets the vaccines out, gets us working on the economy, brings down that inflation. By the time handing it off back to Trump, because of some reason the American people didn't think that Biden was good enough. They didn't think it was good enough that he had got inflation down to under 4% and unemployment down under 4% and all this kind of stuff. That wasn't good enough, apparently. So the American people thought, well, we'll go back to the pedophile rapist. And now here we are. I think these Trump years are the worst. Having said all that, Vietnam, Watergate, Iran-Contra, 9/11, those were horrible, horrible, horrible things. And I think just Trump being president is worse than all those things, because there's so much at stake here. There's so much at stake. We are on the verge of losing the country, of losing the democracy, losing the republic. But that was the progression that got us here. Nixon to Reagan to the Bushes, and now to Trump, and it's just been one right after the other, one worse one right after the other. They just got worse and worse and worse. These Republican presidents. And did you see, especially from Jimmy Carter had a hard time. He only had 4 years. If he had gotten 8 years, I think he would have turned this around. But he was having a hard time with inflation, having a hard time with OPEC and oil and all that shit. But then we got 2 terms of Clinton, 2 terms of Obama. They both turned those economies right around. They cleaned up the Republicans' mess and turned us right around. And Biden did it in 1 term, coming out of Trump. Because Trump if Trump had 2 terms, and then the next Democrat would have maybe had a harder time. But yeah, Trump is just he's a toxic, he's a one-man walking pandemic is what Trump is. Anyhow, just skip it down a little bit. DPD says, this is my opinion. I don't think this, I'll do a little bit of editing. I don't think this upcoming election is going to save us. The damage that has been done to this country and other countries in, 577 will take generations to repair, if at all, honestly. Well, I'm not so negative. I'm a more half glass half full type person. I'm not going to be so doom and gloomy about it. I think if we have to keep, but the thing is, we can't keep going with this back and forth bullshit. Like I've said before, we need like 50 years of just Democratic Party rule. Majorities in the House, majorities in the Senate, and the White House. We need that for like the next 50 years. But I do think that even if, let's say in 2028, we get a Democratic president, Democratic Congress, I think we can immediately start making reversals and changes, and I think it will be noticeable within the first term that we will see noticeable change, and noticeable improvement. But yeah, it might take decades to fully repair everything and everything. But I'm not so doom and gloomy. West Webb, Congress can undo most every executive order. I think they can undo every executive order. Once the old president is out and the new president comes in, his executive orders, I think they become null and void, don't they? Josh sees we should get TJ some bright purple Schumer glasses. West Webb, I just want the party leadership to tell the truth. Well, your backing of the GOP, you're not going to get that with them. They don't know how to. They don't know how to tell the truth. DPD says we also must be aware that we are dealing with entities that want to harm us. These are the types of individuals who thrive at the suffering of others. This is why we cannot believe it's business as usual. There are. I mean, there are entities and there are people that want to do us harm. Elon Musk, he's a fucking Nazi. Elon Musk, I'll say it right to your face, boy. You're a fucking Nazi. Fuck you, Musk. Anytime you want to go, bro. I'm 65 and a half. I'll fucking fight Elon Musk. Fuck him. Big Hook 1242. I think I'm about 37 minutes behind or something like that. Eek, I'm really behind. Luck Dragon has Jolie is dropping a link. I think it's is it to the Cuba video? You guys were talking about the Cuba video. Check that out. That's probably a story we need to start covering because it's just another awful thing. You know, we had the Venezuela fishing boats that Trump and Hegseth were just extrajudicially, executing people on these boats. We don't know if they were drug dealers or not. Whatever evidence there might have been it's been blown up. No due process, nothing. And now we see what's going on with Cuba, just doing these blockades, just for really no reason, just to be an asshole, just because Trump thinks it's some sort of power move. He thinks he's this powerful guy, and he can blockade Cuba. And so just for his own vanity now, how many people are dying there of starvation, or they're in the hospital and then the hospital loses power because of Trump? So fuck Trump and fuck you, West Webb, for even suggesting that you would vote for a Republican over AOC or anyone like that. When we have an asshole like Donald Trump in office who does these things like with Cuba, that's probably, I don't know, I haven't heard any figures, but we can attribute a lot of deaths, I bet, to Trump. It's sickening. It's sickening what Trump is doing, and it's sickening that there are people in this country that support that. MJ Daniels says 40s, 50s, and 60s saw the most innovation and growth in U.S. history. Yeah, that was the golden era. Yeah, that was a golden era for the United States. Most productive time and the biggest gain in the middle class. We saw the largest gain of people moving out of poverty and working poor and going into the middle class. We had this huge expansion of the middle class during 40s, 50s, and 60s. MJ Daniels says U.S. history, and if not for Nixon and the Southern strategy, then Reagan, and trickle down, we could have done even more. Yeah, that trickle down bullshit is a bunch of bullshit. MJ Daniel, this is not the time for holding back. The rest of the world is passing us by. Kim Shi West is a douchetarian. West Web John, you don't understand. The Republicans love AOC. They love watching libs whine. That's not whiny. And you still haven't told me anything. You still haven't told me, at least I haven't seen it, unless I skipped over it. What AOC, unless you just want to say she's a whiner, which she's not, so fuck you again. But what policy position or what has she said that would make you want to vote for a Republican over her? Of course you don't. You can't say that because you're just an asshole. DBD says, TJ, it would be perfect timing for you to visit Australia because it's winter there. Oh yeah, that's right. They have opposite season. Now the winter season runs from June to August. Blood Dragon says AOC needs to run for Senate in 2028 and take over Chuck Schumer's seat. You and I agree on that. We've been saying that. Absolutely. Would love for her to run for Senate. West Webb, Jasmine Crockett has not called any white Democrat a racist. You're just making up shit, so fuck off. West Webb, I never supported Doge. If you support Republicans, you support Doge. So again, you're not going to get off that easy, dude. David Young, I've never seen AOC whine. Me either. It's just projection on WW's part and these Republicans. They're the true whiners. They're just like when they call us snowflakes. They're the true snowflakes. They can't stand anything. They can't stand to be called out on any of their lies and their hypocrisy. So when they call us snowflakes, that's just projection. When West Webb calls AOC a whiner, that's because he's a whiner. West Webb, Tallarico's going to win. He's going to beat Paxton. Then what are you going to say? Then who are you going to blame? Then how are you going to come after Crockett? All right, I am skipping down and needle dropping because I know I'm really behind. I'm like 40-something minutes behind in the chat. Damon Dog says, I've been addicted to First Amendment auditors videos. There's a lot of stupid people out there. Skipping down and needle dropping. Jolie says, we've had to use IDs to vote here forever, so state IDs are free. Okay. Well, at least they're free. Just needle dropping a little bit here. I'm pretty much just ignoring West Webb because he's so stupid. DPD says, for those of you in chat who drive gasoline-powered vehicles, or Vachilis, no, vehicles, have you, Vecchiles, no, have you who didn't notice your car's running out of gas much quicker? They are putting more ethanol in the gas. You pay less, but gas runs out quick. I have not heard that. I mean, I don't have a car presently, so I haven't experienced that, but I have not heard of that happening. Skipping down, needle dropping. DPD again, another thing we must pay attention to is that it's not good enough. These motherfuckers want to destroy the U.S., but they want to burn the world down as well. I guess those are like the Peter Thiels of the world or something. West Web, I had long hair and bell bottoms. I don't know if you guys were talking about EVs. Wes says, laughing out big hooks, so people with electric vehicles are insulting the rest of us. I don't know, but that's a good time for me to mention Slate Automobile. I would really like to save up and get a Slate EV. Check it out. Go to slate.com and go check it out. Scrolling down and needle dropping. Brooklyn, I think talking about West Webb. Yesterday, everyone was praying for his health. Today, everyone's hating on him. Brooklyn, West, actually, we're just giving him what he wants. He thrives on this shit. He thrives on people hating on him. So if you really want to, I guess, make him mad or whatever, then be nice to him, I guess. I don't know. Luck Dragon says, okay, lovely people, gotta buy, go bye-bye for now. Yeah, I'm over 2 hours. Julie, I'm definitely gonna watch that video you linked. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, check out that video. I'll check it out. I think we need to know more about what's going on in Cuba. It's kind of been swept under the carpet. But meanwhile, there are people just, I'm sure people are dying because of this like embargo or whatever. And it's horrible. And for no reason, really. DBD says you can't keep treating people with disdain and contempt by starving them, taking away vital resources, and giving them to those who have everything, and yet we still have to pay for it. Something's got to give. Something's going to give. DBD. I think that's why we're going to see a huge, huge turnout in November. West Webb says, I don't accept that, John. Fear-mongering does nobody any good. Do you have a candidate you'd like? Volunteer to make phone calls for them. What was the fear-mongering? Was I fear-mongering? West Webb, give them a few bucks. Absolutely. You got a few bucks, send it their way. There's a lot of candidates. Troy Jackson in Maine, send him a few bucks, people. Major Ojeda running in, is it North Carolina? I always get my Carolinas mixed up. Go give Ojeda a few bucks. Give Tallarico a few bucks. And really, $3, $4, $5 is all you need. It doesn't have to be 20. It doesn't have to be 100. It doesn't have to be 1,000 or 500. $3, $4, $5, $6. If everyone did that, then it adds up. David Weiss from Denver says Free Speech TV has the belly of the beast videos about Cuba. MJ Daniel, period, from FDR to Carter saw some of the greatest growth, social and economic, in U.S. history. We can do it again. Jonathan Black, an actual Nazi. Yeah, I don't know if that's in reference to, but it might be in reference to Elon Musk, who I think is an actual Nazi. South African Nazi. West Webb, it is mostly a matter of perception, point of view. Elon has bodyguards and has trained in martial arts. So have I. I don't have bodyguards. I've trained in martial arts. It's called trucker fu. I ain't afraid of Elon Musk. He could be a 10th degree black belt, and I'll fucking get a lead pipe and go to town on that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Here's the Cuba video link again from Jolie. Go check it out. And let's be informed. Let's not let these things get swept under the rug, man. Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, Epstein. We can't let these things just get swept under the rug, man. Distraction. MJ Daniel, Musk is a pasty tub of goo, Nazi Bond villain wannabe. Jonathan Black says it's all about real estate robber barons cashing in on Cuba. More of the same. Same thing with Gaza. They want to take that land and make it into a big resort or something. My question is, why couldn't they do that without committing a genocide? Why couldn't there be a two-state solution, or where we could actually let the Palestinians run a country and actually have a bureau, like a tourism bureau and a business bureau? It would invite developers in, but instead they were basically living in occupation in walled cities, and and Israel was blocking everything from the ocean and from all sides. Instead of doing that, how about you let them have some economic growth over these past decades and decades and decades? And then you wonder why groups pop up like Hamas and Hezbollah. You would too if you were being held in oppression like that. If you lived like that, go watch Battlestar Galactica, the new one, not the old 70s one. Go watch the one from 20 years ago, or whatever long it's been now. The later seasons. Okay, I'm just skipping down, doing a needle drop here. MJ Daniel says USA went to the fucking mood. Now we have psychotic apes throwing their shit running the US government. Yeah, talk about going backwards. West Webb says, I'll say Jazzy didn't help unless it is a show and she comes around. So far, everything you said about Crockett is a lie, and you have not given me anything that AOC ever did that would be worthy of voting for a Republican instead of her. Because you're just full of hot air, Wes. You're just full of hot air. MJ Daniel says Doge has gone nowhere and is embedded in the government like ticks. That is the legacy of Musk. Skipping down and needle dropping. Here's the links. Jolie is reminding everyone that we have channel memberships starting for as low as $1.99 a month. And you can like, subscribe, and share. It doesn't cost you a dime. Like, subscribe, share, hit that hype button. And you can also support the show by going to PayPal or buy me a coffee. Those are other really great ways of helping to support the show. Thank you, Jolie, for putting that in there. Jonathan Black says no free ID in Illinois. Only seniors, disabled, and homeless. The rest of us poor people have to pay. If the SAVE Act passes, that's a poll tax. Yep. And it will probably see, that's the thing. That's why a lot of Republican, I think one of the reasons, there's probably other reasons. I think one of the reasons the Republican, senators and reps are against it is because that's probably going to affect Republican voters as well, who can't afford to go and get all this ID that they want. Skipping down and needle dropping. MJ Daniel says Airbus has been testing hydrogen power for their jet liners, only a matter of time. Yeah, there's hydrogen fuel cells. There's lots of things we can go to that are much friendlier on the environment. Is Mad Mac here? There's Mad Mac. Slava Ukrainian Mad Mac. Thanks for being here. Mad Mac says, Slava Ukrainian. Hi, guys. I can't reply because I'm riding my Harley, but I'm listening in my helmet. Happy Saturday. Hadaram Slava. Thank you, Mad Mac. Absolutely. Have a good ride, man. Have a good ride on your Harley. Big O, we are living in the movie plot of Look Up. You know, I still have not seen that movie. I think it's on my Netflix list, but I still haven't gotten to it. Josh sees it's called Tire Thumper. I have one. I got my Tire Thumper. Where is my Tire Thumper, though? I used to keep it nearby. West Webb, I don't believe the world is falling apart. I do not believe that we are preparing for World War. Well, that's the thing. Is all it takes is one dumbass like Trump to just stumble his way into it and be the spark that sets the whole thing off. This going into Iran is so stupid. Every one of his predecessors, even George W. Bush, wasn't that stupid. DPD says the problem with this regime is the darker your soul and mind, all you have to do is write a check and we become their guinea pigs. It's called pay to harm as many as you want with no regulations. Squirrel Girl says Musk is hated not because he's rich, it's because he's a greedy, freeloading, off government piece of shit, useless person. Yeah, exactly, Squirrel Girl. I don't give a shit that he's rich. You know, if he had just kept his fascist fucking Nazi mouth shut and had just stayed like working on Tesla and working on his things and stayed out of politics, and he was still a multi-billionaire, and even if he became a trillionaire, I really wouldn't give a shit. But he had to put his nose in there because he's been just as successful under Democratic presidencies as he has Republican, probably even more so under Democrats. With Obama and the saving the auto industry, and now a lot of that went to fucking Musk. So if he had just kept his mouth, because I actually used to like Musk. I was like a fanboy. I was like a Musk fanboy. This is going back to the early 2000s. Somebody was saying like, I don't know if it was Texas Paul or somebody was saying like, you know, if not for, maybe it was Hal, if not for the government contracts that Obama gave him or the government loans, that you wouldn't even know who Musk is. But I knew I very, very much knew who Musk was. I started a Facebook channel called Electric Cars to Save the World way back before that. And I was prominently featuring Musk and Teslas. I still have that page. It's on Facebook if you want to check it out. But I very, very much knew I've known who Musk has been since the early 2000s, ever since he took over Tesla. But as soon as he started campaigning for Trump, and we saw the Nazi salutes, and getting involved and buying people's votes and paying people to register, and maybe a lot of people think that he actually tampered with voting and vote flipping, although there is absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. Voting machines are offline; they're not online, and all that kind of stuff. But anyhow, still, he's a Nazi. I hate the motherfucker, and I want nothing to do with any of his products. And that's because he showed us who he really is. He came out on stage, did his Nazi salutes, and has done some awful things, started Doge, and started cutting hundreds of thousands of jobs, hundreds of thousands of programs that have affected hundreds of thousands of people, not getting medicine, not getting food. So fuck that motherfucker. He's a racist fucking pig. But you know what? I probably would have never known any of that if he hadn't stepped out. And he could just quietly be doing his businesses and becoming richer and richer and just do it quietly. But no, he had to get into politics, didn't he? He just had to do it. He couldn't help himself. And now he's probably lost at least half of his support. Like all the all the people who are into EVs, most of them they're into it because of the environmental factor of it. He's lost all those people now. He's so stupid. He's so stupid, and I think I think Tesla stocks are dropping, sales are dropping. I hope they go fucking under. I hope they fucking go bankrupt. Fuck him, man. I'll fucking beat his ass. I'll beat his motherfucking ass. I got some tricks up my sleeve. You know, I've been in some brawls in my day. I'll take his ass out. I got jumped by a bunch of black dudes at a gas station when I worked at a gas station. And the only thing that stopped me was one of them hit me in the back with a fucking steel tire rim. That's the only thing that stopped me from beating all their asses. So I ain't afraid of fucking fat, pudgy Elon Musk. Fuck that white, puffy fucking doughboy. Of course, I am not 18 anymore. That's when I was 18. I think I was 18. I was working at a gas station. Got jumped. I handled my business. I'm not 18 anymore, but I still, you know, I still think I could take him. Schnizbigel says, I knew who Musk was since 2012. I must be almost caught up with the chat. I've known who Musk was since, like, I don't know, 2003 or something. Bald Thanos is here. Hey, Bald Thanos, good to see you. Bald Thanos says, fun fact, Musk is going to lose $1 trillion after the election. I don't think he's any longer a trillionaire, right? I think those overvalued stocks that were way overvalued, they completely have plummeted, and so I think he's back to being just a multi-billionaire. West Webb, if I buy a used Tesla, Elon will have already made his money. I know, because I was thinking that too. That's my out, because I do like Teslas. You know, I've talked about Teslas. I really do love Tesla cars. I think they're really good. I like the Model 3 and Model Y. I think are really good. And if I bought one, it would be used, and that way, you know, it's used. That money's not really going to the company per se, although there are used cars on the Tesla website that they have. So try not to buy one of those, I guess. But still, then I would probably be one of those people that take the name badge off, and they put Audi on there or something like that. You know, I don't know. All right, I'm skipping down a little bit. I must be really current with the chat because Balthano says John is not 18. Now he tells it. So yeah, I guess I'm almost caught up here with the chat. Jonathan Black says Musk is a drug-addled fascist psychopath, and his money and influence make him a threat to humanity. He needs to go. I think that, like Major Ojeda is saying, you know, if he's guilty of anything, whatever he's guilty of, wrongdoing, voter tampering, or election interference, whatever, they should go after him and prosecute him and take everything away from him, you know. DPD says something else that needs to change is giving corporations bailouts on our dime, because if we fuck up our finances, is the government going to help us? Hell no. We don't benefit. I know, and that's a tricky one too. Bailing out the banking industry, even though it was the banking industry's own fault. I mean, just because Bush deregulated so much stuff and in the banking industry, they didn't have to be so greedy and jump right in, and do things that were going to be detrimental to their own fucking industry. With all those mortgage-backed securities and mixing good with bad and everything. Big Hook. Musk puts his name on others' accomplishments. He hasn't done anything but dodge taxes and bullshit his way, saying he is the future. NASA work, Tesla was from others. He just markets well. But I don't think, I know we want to shit on Musk, but I don't think he ever claimed, I don't remember Musk ever claiming that he invented Tesla. I mean, I've been following Tesla since the early 2000s, and I knew that he bought into it, that he wasn't the original founder. I knew all that. So, and it was open news. It wasn't like something being hidden. So, I don't know. I'm just skipping down a little bit. Squirrel says how so Wes Webb Musk disowned his own daughter because she dared to change her gender. He's I guess, jackass, and he'll always be a jackass. I guess that's what JA is, jackass. At the very least, he's a jackass. That's putting it kindly. Big Hook says without government money bailouts, Musk would never made it. The fact he destroyed the government that gave him a chance defines his malignant narcissism. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that he would never make it. He just wouldn't be a billionaire now. He would probably just be a multimillionaire. I think Tesla was still on a trajectory, even going back to Obama. I think the government loans just help them on their next stage, but they wouldn't be where they are now. They might be just now getting the Model 3 out or something. I think it would have slowed his roll. I think he would be a multimillionaire. I don't think certainly wouldn't be a trillionaire. He wouldn't be a multi-billionaire. But I think without the government help, he would still, if he still had the passion, because back then it seemed like he had a passion to grow Tesla, to have Tesla be the company that was going to lead the way in getting EVs into the mainstream, instead of just being this fluky sort of thing, on the side or whatever. What I remember from the early days of Musk in the early 2000s and reading about him is that his goal with Tesla was to make Tesla lead the way in making EVs become the mainstream. That was his goal, and I believed him. And I still believe that back then that's what he was about. Something happens when you start becoming a billionaire and a trillionaire. You can either say it changes people, or some people will say, well, it just brings out the real person or whatever. But I think Tesla was going to survive. He might have had to get more help with Toyota. He had a lot of partnerships with Toyota. He might have had to bring in more partners, more giving up more of the company to bring in more investors or whatever. But I think he would still be around. I think Tesla would still be around. But it would have just really slowed everything down. And like I said, we might still be waiting for the Model 3 to come out right now. And it's been out for how many years now? So I don't know. People like to say that without government subsidies or government loans, that Musk would not be, that he would never have made it. I don't really agree with that, because he was already making it before that. You know, like buying PayPal, selling PayPal. You know, he had other companies that he bought and sold, and he was putting that money into Tesla to grow Tesla. I know I sound like a Musk fanboy, because I was a Musk fanboy back in the early 2000s. So I just don't see it the way you guys see it. You came late to the game, and you only see the Musk now that we've seen the last few years. But in the early days, he wasn't. There was no indication to me that he was a Nazi. There was no indication to me that he was some weirdo who just what's he do? I don't know, whatever the kids are doing these days. He's getting high on all these weird drugs and shit. He was working on Tesla. His dream was to bring Tesla into the mainstream, and with that, the electric vehicle, all electric vehicles, not just Tesla, but to make Ford and GM and Toyota and all these companies, to make them start developing EVs. That was his goal, and I think he accomplished that. So I just don't like to rewrite history. Yeah, he's a scumbag. He's a fucking scumbag, and I hate the motherfucker. But I don't want to rewrite history and say that he didn't do anything in the beginning, that he just stole Tesla. I don't think he stole Tesla. He became a partner in Tesla, and then he took it over because he had the clout to do that with the amount that he bought in for. And it's not his fault that the founders were kind of a little maybe meek about it, about advancing Tesla. So let's not reinvent history. Yeah, he's a scumbag, but he did some good in the beginning. Because I think developing EVs and getting EVs into the mainstream is a good thing. Hence, I made a Facebook channel called Electric Cars to Save the World. Jeff Curry's here. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate you. Smokey Mears here says, didn't Musk say that empathy is a failing? I don't know. He might have. It sounds like some douchey dirtbag thing he would say. Like I said, I don't like the guy. I just threatened to beat his ass. You know, I've called him every name in the book. I don't want people to confuse when I'm talking about the early 2000s Musk compared to the Musk we've seen in the last 5 years or so, or whatever. You know, don't reinvent history, people. Be true to it. DBD says, let them fall, take the money from the CEO's salaries. Fun fact, when companies' stock, I guess, drops in value and they downsize, the executives and CEO salaries tend to rise despite poor business performance. Paul Thanos, Elon Musk was a co-founder of PayPal. I mentioned PayPal. If you were listening, I did mention that. And he sold it, and he put that money into developing more stuff in Tesla, into developing Model S, going from the Roadster to the Model S, going from the $150,000 Roadster down to the $100,000 Model S. His goal was to try to continually make models that were cheaper in price. Big Hook says, stop defending a psychopath, TJ. He is awful. I never said he wasn't awful. I just said I was going to beat his ass. I said he was a Nazi fascist. How is that defending him? But I'm not going to rewrite history and lie about his history just to satisfy you because you think because you can't bear to have anything positive said about the man. He did some good things in the beginning. Don't be a liar. How about you? How about you not be a liar? I know he's awful. I've said he's awful a million fucking times. Fuck off. I've said he's a Nazi. How many times do I gotta say he's a Nazi? I said he's a fucking Nazi. That doesn't mean he was awful in 2003 or 2005, at least publicly. That doesn't mean that he wasn't doing good things by getting EVs developed and helping develop it. Yeah, it was the force behind growing Tesla. Just because he wasn't the original owner doesn't mean he wasn't the force behind growing Tesla. Because once he took over, Tesla started growing. Tesla was going nowhere without him. It was going absolutely nowhere without him. Once he became part of the executive branch there of CEO or whatever, executive board of Tesla, that's when things started happening. Fuck off. Don't reinvent history just to satisfy your own fucking feelings about Elon Musk. No, he's not exactly right. He's not exactly right. I'm not saying Elon Musk is a good person. But that doesn't mean he didn't do some good things. Jesus fucking Christ. Why is that so hard? Why is that so fucking hard? If it wasn't for Elon Musk, Tesla would have went nowhere. It would have died out just like every other electric vehicle company ever made up to that point. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. For fuck's sake, he grew. This is John Black. He grew Tesla with our tax money. So did this. He's not the only fucking company to ever do that. Almost every fucking company can get government loans. You think he's the only one that's ever done that? You don't think GM and Ford has ever gotten government handouts and loans and grants? Come on, man. If you're going to criticize Musk for that, then criticize them all. Criticize all of them for that. In case you guys were wondering what was going to be the triggering event today, if you had your money on the Elon Musk was always shit and never did anything good, and wouldn't have done anything without government loans, then you won that. I guess you won. If you had that square, John Beck, why are we bickering about Elon's character? Let's talk about Iran and Ukraine. Well, because someone brought it up. I read the chat, and when people bring shit up, especially when they say something really stupid, then I've got to call it out. If you're going to try to reinvent history and lie, then I see it, I got to call it out. But yeah, the show's almost over. It's almost 3 hours, and I'm going to have to get going here. But yeah, Iran bad. Trump wrong. Trump bad. Trump stupid for starting an illegal, unnecessary war that has only made things a million times worse than they were before he started bombing on Luck Dragon's birthday. And Ukraine, Russia, Vladimir Putin is wrong for starting an illegal, unnecessary war. He's getting the shit kicked out of him. They're losing over 1,000 soldiers every day. We're in the 5th year of this war now, or however many. It's hard to believe. Wow. And yet he's going to keep throwing people into that meat grinder. Ukraine did nothing to deserve this. I've heard people try to say that, kind of just regurgitating the Republican talking points that come straight from the Kremlin about how, I guess, Ukraine occupied Russian territory, and what would you do if it was your country and people were encroaching on your land? You would attack too. They're trying to take that line, but that's all bullshit. There was no reason for Russia to attack, and I'm sorry, but it's really hard for me to have any type of, I guess, sympathy or understanding for a country that starts a war on the very first day by bombing a maternity ward of a hospital and a nursery school and elementary schools and churches. So fuck Russia. Fuck Vladimir Putin. Slava Ukraini. I think that's all I'm going to say about Ukraine and Iran today, since we are about done here with the show. You guys triggered me, and but that's not why I'm ending it. We are at almost 3 hours, and I do got to go. I got to end it. But thanks you guys for being here. I appreciate you. I even appreciate WW. I even appreciate Big Hook for being here. He probably left, but whatever. I appreciate you all for being here. Thanks for. We did get a couple unofficial donos here. David Weiss from Denver, $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much, David Weiss. I do appreciate you for that. Let's see if I can get that to go. Sometimes it takes a minute. There we go. We had some Truckiversaries. Kimchi, 28 months. Wes Webb, 28 months. So yippee! Happy Truckiversary to both Kimchi and Wes Webb. And we had a $10 super chat from Squirrel Girl. Yippee! So, boy, these things take a while. There you go. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, guys. So we got 2. Didn't have the goal up. For some reason, it's not working. I don't know why. It's not working. And I don't know why. This isn't working. Oh, here we go. To go back to the chat. But thanks, guys, for being here. I'll be back again on DBD says, TJ, I suggest you hit up a Rage Room. They probably have one in Vegas somewhere. They probably do have one around here. Balthanos, personally, I want a Tesla AI robot. Jolie, can I borrow $250,000? There's probably lots of other robots coming out that are much, much better than what Tesla is making. Josh C says, need to run an ozone generator to clean up all the triggers. John Black says, thank you for the stream. Thank you, hosting chat. Jolie, have a great day. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for being here. I'm glad you came on in. I do appreciate you. And I guess that's it for today. Oh, yeah, I'll be back Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, look out for the trailers. The shorts. We'll make some shorts. I didn't really have, I think, any other memes. That's why that one was up the whole time. I didn't really have any other memes, so we just had that. But yeah, look for the shorts. I'll be putting some shorts out, and short videos. You know what I mean. And over the next couple days. So look out for the videos. We'll be back Tuesday, 10 a.m. DVD, I think robots could work wonders for the elderly. Oh yeah, I'd love to have a robot that would clean my house and stuff, clean my apartment, do my dishes, do my cooking. That'd be nice. And who also looked really sexy. That'd be nice. But anyhow, about Thanos, anybody ever watch Babylon 5? I'm sure there's some Babylon 5 people in here. Brooklyn says, Josh, I looked up that robot teacher porno looking. Westweb's supposed to weigh down the microscopic particles in the air and cause them to fall to the floor. Anyhow, I could keep reading these forever. But yeah, we got to get going before the mic dies. It's almost about ready to die. 2 hours and 53 minutes, so I better end this. But anyhow, before we do that, words of wisdom coming up here. Chuck John's words of wisdom. You might want to get a paper and pen to write these down. Lots of people do that. But I've been told, people are saying that people like to write these words of wisdom down. So, are you ready? Before the battery dies? Spoken Mirrors, good show. Thank you. I hope I didn't. I probably scared away a bunch of people with my triggering, but I guess that's what happens. Okay, Jolie's got paper and pencil ready to go. All right, so for today's words of wisdom, guys.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. Right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. I don't mourn when evil men die. I don't feel sad, and I don't cry. Sometimes I wonder why it takes so long for evil men to die. But I want you to know that when you go, you won't be missed. And the ground where you'll lay, we're all gonna take a big giant piss. And for your end, we all anticipate, without any love and too exhausted to hate. Your long-lasting legacy will be one of disgrace and shame. Throughout the annals of history, your name will shrink, you'll lose your fame. And as you lay there drawing in your final breath, just know that you made us happiest in death. You will not be thought of kindly, and you won't be missed. And like I said before, on the ground you'll lay, I'm gonna take a big old piss.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.